Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I am Justin. And what we do here on Wheel of Albums is we spin a wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. We all listen to it for a week, do a deep dive into it, do a little research, a little looking up some stuff on that album. And then after that, we get together, we share our thoughts about what we thought about that album and if it's worth listening to before you die. Jack got the wheel this week. He was excited. And after he spun it, he got Modern Life is Rubbish by Blur, their sophomore effort from 1993. Adam, take it away.
Well, this week, guys, the wheel gave us Modern Life is Rubbish by Blur. What was your initial reaction to the news?
My initial reaction was helping to console Jack as he didn't know what he'd spun.
I have no idea what that is, if it's an album or just a commentary on the current state of affairs.
This is an album I'd never listened to. I jumped onto Blur with Park Life and Onward, so besides For Tomorrow, I was not familiar with the rest of this album. So I was pretty excited.
So my initial reaction to finding out we were going to listen to Modern Life is Rubbish was absolute elation. Although I hadn't heard the album, I knew of it and was excited to dig into it, listen to a different Blur album that I hadn't heard before.
I really only know Song 2 by Blur. I do have a Blur album. It's called The Best Of. Only one song from Modern Life is Rubbish appears on the Best Of disc that I have, and that is For Tomorrow.
I felt like Blur experimented with a lot of musical ideas on Modern Life is Rubbish. With so many ideas, what do you think the oddest musical idea or moment was to you?
There are a lot of good and questionable musical ideas on this album, but nothing to me beats the oboe solo that lands smack in the middle of Star Shaped. That is the bomb.
Colin Zeal, the third track, that pure Jane's Addiction bass line all the way. I really enjoyed that one.
Graham Coxon on guitar, very underrated. Some songs you're playing in one chord and then all of a sudden he just shifts tone like on Oily Water and it still works, and that's what makes Blur so interesting.
I don't know if it's the oddest, but my least favorite is the ending to Chemical World, which I like until they go on their little tangent there.
And then the second half of Chemical World might be the ballsiest piece of the entire album, but also the most brilliant. And kind of came to learn that that's the intermission part of the album from, the first half to the second half.
Sounds like a bunch of clever university boys getting together and having a good laugh. Maybe at my expense. Maybe they're laughing with me and not at me.
But it's absolutely fantastic to listen to, and I couldn't wait to listen to it.
If there's a misstep, it would have to be Miss America for me. I know they're sore with America after the tour that came before this album. It just sucks the life and the momentum out of the album when that comes on.
So if Blur and Oasis are coming to town on the same night, what band are you going to go see live in concert?
I'm going to pass. I'm going to go ahead and stay at the pub.
Hey, if that set list is right, I'm going to go see Blur. I've seen Oasis a few times back in the 90s. We'll save those stories for when their album comes up on the wheel.
I'll tell people I went to Oasis and something happened between the Gallagher boys. But it's a lie, but I'll try to sell it.
I'm going to say I'm going to go with Blur, just because I've never seen them before, and I think it'd be a fun show to see what they have to offer.
I was going to accuse Blur of never coming around my neck of the woods to go see them, but thanks to setlist.com, I looked back and saw that they visited the Metropole September 20th, 1997 for Shrek's Sake. Smash Mouth opening up for Blur that show. What a missed opportunity.
If you got to see Blur live, which song do you absolutely need to hear from Modern Life is Rubbish?
One song live would be, I think Advert's got a lot of spunk. I think that would be really fun to hear Damon Albarn just screaming at the crowd. Say something! Say something!
Advert would be really awesome to see live, and Chemical World, it gets the nod just because if they're going to play the intermission piece, the second half of that, I would love to see, it sounds like a slightly demented ice cream truck driving through your town.
I'm going to assume that the common answer would be song 2, but that's not on this album. I think Villa Rossi would be a good live song. Has a lot of action going on in it. It seems like you could get the crowd whipped up pretty good.
Did you guys learn anything interesting about Blur this week or Modern Life is Rubbish?
Too cheeky for me.
After their first album, Leisure, Blur kind of seemed to be in shambles. They went on a failed U.S. tour, and as they kind of were getting ready to record their second album, the head of Blur's label kind of told them they had a month to get their act together or he was going to drop them from the label.
They put something together with Andy Partridge from XTC, and that didn't work out. So it's another case of getting another producer in with Stephen Street.
And after he heard what they had worked on, he came in and just bluntly told them it sounded like crap.
Or ironically, rubbish.
And only a handful of people would actually buy it. And this kind of helped Damon Albarn go and write For Tomorrow and Chemical World, which are probably the two biggest songs on the album.
And it's a good thing that Damon Albarn went home for the holidays and wrote For Tomorrow, which is just a testament. Whenever you need something, just go home for the holidays. And then you'll have many years of success afterwards, like Damon Albarn has had.
Yeah, American-wise, I would guess, would be like Jellyfish or Harvey Danger. Smart poppy songs with a lot of hooks and a lot of experimentation in the music. So I'll give Blur that. They are unique and they're fun, but sometimes just a little too cheeky.
Some might say too cheeky, but we take a look at the album ratings. Modern Life is Rubbish ranked our second highest yet out of 5 albums, all around the same total. Final rating of 6.19. Adam at the highest, Jack at the low end.
Some standout songs really on this is For Tomorrow is really good. Star Shape is an excellent song.
And then Advert coming in third place to round out our top 3.
And of course, the question we always need to answer on Wheel of Albums: was Modern Life is Rubbish an album that needs to be heard before you die?
I'm going to come around to, again, no. You'll be okay without listening to this album. Modern Life is Rubbish is not rubbish, but it's not gold. Too cheeky for me.
I love Blur, and it was fun getting to know this album. But in the grand scheme of things, when we're looking at all the albums you should hear before you die, I think they get things right completely on their next album. And albums like Park Life and their self-titled and the underrated 13 at the end of the decade are all big-time winners in my book. But I don't think it's something you need to hear before you die.
I'm shockingly going to say no, even though I really enjoyed listening to it. I feel like this album is them experimenting, and they are ready to like boil over and explode into greatness, which is going to come on their next album, their third album, Park Life, which I know has to be on that pesky wheel somewhere. And when it comes to that one, I'm going to say yes to that one. But for Modern Life, I'm going to say no. You could skip it and wait and listen to a different Blur album.
All 3 of us saying nay to that, which is surprising because we all enjoyed it in varying degrees. That's just the way the wheel goes. We'll see if we get some more Blur anytime soon. What do you think? Go ahead and leave a comment, a rating. We'd love to hear from you on Spotify or YouTube. Like I've said a couple episodes ago, we're just getting started here. Just do short podcasts, try to keep them no more than 10 minutes. Just let us know what you think about Modern Life is Rubbish by Blur. All right, I've got the wheel next. I'm going to give it a spin. Let's go. And here it goes. The official Wheel of Albums. And we've come up with Vulgar Display of Power by Pantera next. Okay, looks like we're getting aggressive for the next week. For my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I'm Justin. Thanks again for listening to Wheel of Albums.